Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Newsflash, asshole! I've been hearing it the entire goddamn time!
Good evening and welcome to episode 21 of the West of Waterford podcast. My name is Josh and sitting over there on the couch is Brittany, and we have a lot to get through tonight once again. So let's get into this. And happy National Beer Day, everybody.
Really?
Yes, I hope you've got yours.
That sounds like every day for you.
It's every day for this show, and it's not every day, it's most days. It's not every day, but it's most days. I'm kind of wishing I was teasing, but I'm not. Let's not talk about marital strife now while the mic's on.
I'm not, I'm just saying, that was just because you're Irish, you're the one that made it personal.
This is true. Well, I'm actually drinking Heineken tonight, a quality beer, for once, as opposed to the Pisswasser I usually do drink, so there is that. Speaking of beer, we probably could have actually used beer Sunday night. We watched a movie together, Adverse, with, what's the name of the, well, there's only one actor really worth knowing in it.
And I could have supplied some free beer for us.
How?
Because freebie alert, Samuel Adams is giving away free beer for vaccinated folks. So,
Hang on.
Would you have accepted my contribution?
No.
Why not?
Wait. What was your contribution? How?
No, freebie alert. I'm fully vaccinated, so that means, we've already talked about not Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, Mint Dispensary here in Arizona, and now Samuel Adams is on board.
I'm not on board. I will not be bribed to personally myself.
No, I'm just saying.
No, if you want to, you can. I'm just saying I won't.
I'm just saying I just thought of that. That was something I wanted to bring up today.
Oh, okay.
Tonight.
So you can get free Sam Adams because you're fully vaccinated. I mean...
That's all I know. It's just a freebie alert, dude. Don't get insulted by it.
I'm not insulted. I'm just asking. I'm actually asking a legitimate question now. You can get free Sam Adams because you're fully vaccinated.
Apparently, yeah. I just saw a headline, buddy. That's all I know. I can't give you the details about it. I just thought I'd drop a mention there. So anyway, what were you talking about?
Well, before the Sam Adams alert, a beer I don't drink, by the way, very often at all. I don't really I don't like drinking Boston Lager very much. No offense. I do love the ads though. Your friend from Boston.
Is it because they get it from
your cousin from Boston?
Is it because they drudge it out of the river or something?
Come up here and drink our child's water. Come on. Tastes like Boston spit. Ugh. I don't know. It's just not nice. I don't like it. I don't love it.
Sorry for cutting off.
I can drink it.
Sorry for cutting into your segue. Continue.
Yes.
You just kind of zoomed into it so quickly. You didn't give me it. You didn't let me.
That was the point. That's the segue to move into.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Relax. Relax.
All right, go on.
There you go. Adverse. What did you think of it? It was basically what I was going to ask you.
Why was it called that?
It's a very good point.
Why was it even called that?
Why was it even called Adverse?
A stupid name for the film.
Stupid name. Stupid movie. I tried so hard to like it. And I think that's why you were so quiet through the film. I was
quiet until I just couldn't hold it any longer, and I tried to keep it together for you. But why would I do that? Because you would never show the same respect.
You're damn right I wouldn't.
If a movie we're watching sucks, you're gonna just come out.
I'm gonna
and
say it. Yeah, absolutely.
But I was doing the decent thing of not ruining a movie, knowing that maybe you were potentially enjoying it. But it got to a point where I just couldn't handle it anymore, and one of the said actresses, which was such a stupid. Let's give a brief synopsis of it, the film, first of all, before we start delving into particular scenes.
Basically, it's about a right. I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do it.
You got your Brits. They come up later.
I love that you may talk when your segment allows you to.
No, but I mean, if I'm going to do this,
I was gonna take the responsibility.
Well,
anyway, go ahead.
Of course, I will. Stop bickering. So Adverse is basically about a rideshare driver he's in kind of some, how we say, he's in some kind of trouble. He's seeing a counselor. I don't know if he was in prison or something.
Yes, he was in prison.
But,
he was like a delinquent, growing up.
Delinquent growing up, and he sees a counselor. But the thing is, there's never any kind of callback to when he's in prison, so you're kind of left in limbo.
I wasn't confused about that.
I was left a little bit in limbo about it.
It was definitely like state issued, like part of it's probably like program or probation that he goes see counseling from a.
But I think that could have been due to something else, which we will get into. But he lives with his sister Mia, the only good actress in the film, by the way.
I mean, decent in comparison.
In comparison, yeah.
Well,
I said actress.
Go ahead,
female.
actress. Yeah, you're right.
But and she's kind of falling in with a bad crowd. Basically, she's in with drugs, and one night, the main character, don't even remember his name at this point. What was his name?
Either.
So unmemorable. The actor was kind of memorable. Again, we'll get into that. But basically his sister, due to being into the drugs, gets kidnapped, and he kind of goes on a vengeance mission. It's so
kidnapped.
Bland. She was kidnapped. This is the way it's synopsised why I actually wanted to watch the movie, because that was basically the synopsis to get. He goes on a vengeance mission because she is kidnapped.
No,
that's what they say.
Does it say kidnapped?
Yes, kidnapped. After his sister is kidnapped, one man, a rideshare driver, goes on a vengeful mission.
I thought from the synopsis I recall it being like, I knew her fate was sealed, like that she was dead, and he was getting revenge on like the death of a sister.
Well, way to give away spoilers for anybody who wanted to watch the movie.
No one's gonna watch it, and it's like not even a spoiler, because like I felt like that was said in the synopsis on Redbox.
Well, that's the thing, though. He kind of before anything with that sister happens, he does have a fateful meeting with the big boss, who was played by, what's the name of the actor? Because even I'm blanking on him now. He was so.
Oh, really?
You're blanking too, aren't you?
No, Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke. Thank you. Mickey Rourke actually is the only person who gives an anyway good performance in this movie, and even then, it's a little hackneyed. He's like
hackneyed.
It's a little hacky. Because he's like, he's dying of cancer. He seems like he didn't want to get into the bad life. He fell into it and can't get out. He just wanted to play baseball. That's all he wanted to do.
There's one scene
which is very well done.
That's the only scene. Well, hold on before you say that. It's only good because like you're grasping for anything that shows any sort of essence of a good performance or a decent script, or like anything that's gonna emotionally tug at you, because the movie's trying so hard.
Oh boy, is it
to tug at you and get you like emotionally invested, and the only person that can do it successfully is Mickey Rourke, but it's only because it's the juxtaposition between such poor performances that like you're yearning for it.
Yeah.
So upon reflection, looking back at it, I'm still like, no, because like, really good performances, like you can almost isolate that scene and you're like, bam.
Yeah.
And you could almost isolate that scene a little bit, but like, I'm not gonna like just based on that scene, I'm not gonna show my friends that or something, or like look back at it as like a great performance. It's just that in the sea of just shit, like he was able to get
first
a
swear
little
of the episode
a
is
little
in.
a little fleck of something good, a little morsel of something.
It really is bad. I mean,
but when you look back at it, like what he's saying like is so empty and so stupid, and yeah, you're right, it's like a little bit, it's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really even give it a good synopsis. You couldn't give it a good synopsis. I don't think anybody could, because it was it was bland. It was a very bland movie.
It's just a revenge movie. It's just a vengeance movie.
I tried so hard to like it because initially it seemed a little promising.
Because it was your choice. That's why.
No. It was initially a little bit promising because.
No, I looked at it and I go.
How about you let me tell you why it was promising, and then maybe give me an opinion. I thought it was a little bit promising because I thought the number one, the main actor, at the very beginning seemed to be giving a kind of a strong performance. Number one.
I never bought in too deeply.
All right, fair enough. And but that was the thing, as the movie went longer, I started to think he just tricked me. He kind of tricked me at the beginning. What did you just do?
Nothing.
You got to be careful. But there were some nice kind of shots with you unscrew it at the top there a little bit.
No, honey, calm down. Just keep going.
Well, I can't if you're going to break things.
I'm not breaking anything.
All right. But there was some good shots of LA driving, like kind of cool, like front car driving shots. Nice shots of night of LA. They over relied on that to the point where it was like, is this all they're doing now? It's kind of a pretty movie. It's kind of a pretty. You said it looks like a Clint Eastwood joint.
No.
At the beginning.
It was giving me. Okay, first of all, as you know, I don't really like Clint Eastwood directed films. From what I've seen, like Gran Torino is there's just like a weird.
That's the one, I think.
There's just like a weird. No, we started watching. I fell asleep during that. We started watching The Mule too.
Which is
he
great.
directed that.
Yeah, but The Mule was great.
No. I'm sorry. There's just like a particular like tone to it that gives me like like a weird. I don't know how to explain it. There's just a weird.
It's kind of
tone.
washed out a little bit.
It's washed out.
Real.
It's a little bit monotone. No, not the way it looks. This is the performances. It's very like after school program, like community theater. Like there's just something like it's just so ham-fisted and like on the nose, like what the message is trying to give you. That like it cuts through to me. Like it doesn't invest in me. Like I just see. I don't know how to explain it. Am I the only one is that an unpopular opinion?
I think that's actually just not even so much an unpopular opinion. It's just not really even an opinion.
No, what? I'm just saying there's like a tone to it that like the message is like so crammed down your throat of what they're trying to do, and I
think there's a message, and I think it's explored, but I think I don't think it's subtle.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like. And that like bothers me, and I can't get over it. Okay. And like the performances, and especially even from Clint Eastwood himself, are like so stiff, and the dialogue is like so like trying to like it kind of talks to the audience as if they're like you're a child almost. Like there's just
I just don't see that.
Don't say no because it's an opinion. I'm just saying it happens to rub me the wrong way.
All right.
The tone and the production of it. Like, there's just something about it, and I can't really quite put my finger on it, but there's just something very, like, after-school special about it. Like
I will say...
There's something very, like, PA about it.
I will say what about...
A public service announcement about it.
What I'll say to you about it is I think you're closer to hitting my opinion now, shall we say. You're much closer to hitting the mark with that observation with this film than you are with any of Clint Eastwood's films.
It gave me some vibes, though, in the beginning, and I told that to you.
But the reason when you said the vibes were, you quite literally said the vibes because of the cinematography. That's what kind of gave it the vibes.
No. My gripe with with Gran Torino is the performances, and the performances in Adverse were giving me that.
All right. Oh no way.
Yes.
Gran Torino at least had a little bit of heart.
There's one scene.
We laughed at a cancer patient mother shooting herself in a bed in this movie. And let's just get into why this movie really
we don't need to dwell on that. I don't like Gran Torino.
That's fine.
And it gave me some kind of vibes like that, like troubled kids.
This whole thing, this hilariously unintended misplaced emotion of this film. It, like you said a little while. It tried so hard to make you feel something, which is why actually there is that great kind of cathartic moment with, again, big actor name, again, so Mickey Rourke, yeah. I'm having such trouble remembering his name. But that was a good cathartic moment where it's like, oh wow,
that's a silly name for a tough-looking guy. Okay. Scary-looking. Oh. We all know what Mickey Rourke looks like. He looks like he's a burn victim.
Wow.
He has had like crazy plastic surgery. He was like super like drug addict, right? Like. That's why he looks really. I
don't think so. I think it was just really bad plastic surgery.
No, like he had like really bad alcoholism and drug use. Yes.
Anyway, but so the misplaced emotion. I mean, the whole backstory about our main character. Again, name escapes me.
I know. I really can't remember it.
Yeah, but he's afraid of
Miguel.
No,
I can't remember.
I think it was Trey.
No, that's from fucking like Boys in the Hood.
Oh shit, that's right. That's Boys in the Hood. Oops, we watched that recently too. A much better movie, might I say?
Yeah, but a movie about streets and violence and drug. Yeah.
The great thing about this was anytime Trey... Now, the actor who played Trey... Or whatever his name is. I'm just going to call him Trey. I'm just going to call him Spanish Trey. He's a Spanish Trey,
just call him white...
White, not quite Mexican dude.
Just call him
Caesar.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's call him Caesar.
Caesar.
I'm playing a lot of GTA San Andreas, so I'm just thinking, hey, dude. And which is kind of the way he was doing the voice too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Actually, at one point was like, did he play Caesar Villalpando?
Yeah.
In San Andreas? Because he kind of just sounds like him. But one of the great things about this movie is in the flashback sequences, anytime they wanted to show the main character, they just gave him this bizarre cornrow haircut. And did nothing to not even makeup to de-age his face. There's supposed to be about 10 or 15 years maybe between when this happened.
I don't know
in
about
the past.
10 or 15 years.
It's supposed to be a few years, whatever it is.
Think.
But there's no age in his face. There's nothing. It's just his face on a stupid haircut. Just the worst cornrows I have ever seen. He's afraid of guns because he accidentally shot his mama in the arm because mommy was trying to fight the gun out of his hand when he was obviously going out with it. And then later in bed, they're like having this really moment. They're like, oh, we're mother and son. We're laughing, and now I'm going to go out and make some macaroni. He only makes Italian food in this movie, by the way. He only knows how to boil water and add some type of pasta. Every meal in this movie is some form of pasta.
That sounds like somebody I know.
Yeah, your father. Me. So what? At least I can actually cook. His food looked crap every time. But,
You're missing one important, setup and then follow through, though.
Oh, what's the setup there?
The setup is when he starts heading out the door and his mom finds that he has a gun in his bag and he's like...
I already said that.
Oh, did you?
I said, yeah, he shot his mom in the arm.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's afraid of guns.
Sorry, I was looking at his name. His name is Ethan.
Ethan.
The character's
Okay,
name.
Ethan. So Ethan, he goes out to put macaroni, the one meal he knows how to make, apparently. And then you just, from the back room, you just hear...
Yeah, it literally sounded like that.
It literally sounded like that. It was just a stock gunshot effect. And we're going to talk about effects here in a minute because, oh boy, this is when the movie lost me. He goes back in. Mommy has shot herself because she doesn't want to die of the cancer. She wants to go out in her old terms. And it gives this close-up of his stupid cornrowed head. And he's just like...
It literally looks like a student. No, that legitimately looked like that legitimately looked like a student-made film,
yes.
Short. And I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about high school short, film student.
Yeah.
Because there was there was also because it's a flashback. They even did a flashback filter, so it's a little bit a vignette around the edges, and it's kind of soft and fuzzy.
Yeah. It was
his stupid cornrows. And at least they explain why he looks very white because his mom was white.
I'm going to put this up on the...
so at least that was the one thing that was logical.
I'm going to put a picture of the cornrows up on our Twitter page.
Okay.
Just because it is hilarious.
The face of his my mom just shot herself.
I'll try get that one if I can.
So funny.
Now there was actually kind of now speaking of effects and bad effects, the blood was CGI.
Over it.
The blood was CGI. I had noticed earlier in the movie, but it took you a little longer, I think, to actually notice it. Because you kind of called it out at the end. It was you were like, oh my god, there's CGI blood!
Well, there was one kill that I was actually a little bit anticipating, yeah! And then it was ruined by the worst CGI blood splatter ever.
Don't forget the CGI knife that made an appearance earlier in the film.
So what were our main weapons? We had... Because the guy's afraid of guns, so it explains why he doesn't pick up a gun.
He had a tire iron. The knife made an appearance earlier in the movie, and again with CGI blood, you looked away for a millisecond, right when he stabbed one of the bad guys in the hand. And I saw the CGI blood. Dante, yeah, he stabbed.
Guy.
So there we go. Ethan stabbed Dante. Now we're getting names. And Caden. Hey, look, now we're remembering, and it's coming back to me, and I'm getting a headache. But. He stabbed him in the hand, and for a brief second, and I noticed it, I picked it up. You had to watch it a couple of times. It was a CGI knife. They just couldn't do an effect where it was a fake hand on the table and just stab a fake hand. It was just terrible CGI knife, just out of a sci-fi movie, kind of like a shark eating a person. And it's so clearly just nothing in this frame is actually there.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen a movie with really obvious CGI blood.
Yeah, I think it is too.
I think that's the first time I've ever been a victim of that.
I think it is too for me.
Or a witness of that.
Horrifying. It literally was horrifying. And there was a couple of like things where like it's like it could have been actually good. I mean, it is a bland story, but I think in the hands of somebody competent as a director, I don't even know who directed this. Apparently, it won an award. It won an award, but I don't know for what. Unless it was a raspberry.
There's awards for like.
If it was a golden raspberry,
too,
I'd understand that. But I mean, I think it was just. I think it was like a. You can research that there. There was one very cool scene in it that.
Well, I mean, okay, be like a little bit like loose with like saying there's one.
No, let me just
just
set the scene for you here. This is where I'd kind of fallen away from the movie. This is where like, oh, look, I paid $5.99 for this. I just got to get through it now. And then there was a scene where it was a one long shot. This is probably the most competent shot in the movie. It's one long shot of Ethan just going through room by room. He goes in a big long hallway, and then the camera will stay outside the door and just kind of pan in, and he beats the living shit out of somebody with the tire iron in the room. Looked kind of good. The violence actually looked pretty brutal. And then he'd come out the door.
It's kind of satisfying to see that like on the end of the tire iron that it would like make like punctures.
Yeah. And then he would come out of the room and then go into the next room.
That's
and
creepy.
Then
That said satisfying.
beat the shit again. And it would just room by room, like a one-man SWAT team with a tire iron, beating the shit out of people. The music was really pumping at this part.
It was like Raid, but only like 100 times worse.
No, when you first see it, you're like, oh, this is cool. This is very, very cool. This is competent. Again, it's like that Caden baseball chat. It's competent. Okay. And it's like, oh, we're getting somewhere. Finally, we're getting somewhere. And then I think about it, and I was like, yeah, there's no way that happened. There's no way that happened.
I said it while we were watching it.
No, I said it after you the other day, and you were like, actually, that's a good point. I said it was destroyed by logic. Because there was no way he went room by room.
I said.
It's not.
I literally said it while we were watching.
What did you say?
I said, you're like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. And I was like, yeah, but it's like not realistic at all.
Well, I thought you were talking about the fact.
He's just waltzing through and it's like boom, boom, boom.
No, he was going in room by room, room.
I'm sorry, but I have to stand up for myself. As we were watching, I said, this is not realistic at all.
You didn't explain at all why you said it was not realistic at all.
Why would I say it's not realistic?
Oh, I don't know, because...
As in, like, there's no way one man could just do that, go around room to room and just easily bash people in like that.
Actually, there probably actually is very easily a way it could be done, but the thing is, nobody would be waiting in each room hearing their compatriots get the hell kicked out of them in the other room.
That's what you gotta explain, so it's like...
I would explain it.
I
am explaining it.
No, the key thing as you're watching as an audience, it's completely silent there's only music tracking. So you don't hear any sound effects of his footsteps or a door opening or people's screams. So all you're hearing
there's no doors. It's all open doorways,
whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm just saying is like all you hear is music, so it's a silent, so you don't hear any other sound effects. You only hear music during that scene. Everything. So basically, you're watching it silently in terms of, like I said, like.
But the big thing about
yes, you're right. They would be like screaming. There'll be sounds.
Yeah, the compatriots. I mean, it's a very much thing when you see like watch any girl movie ever where the guys kind of like line up to fight the girl instead of all just dogpiling her. Come on, there's a lot of movies like that where it's like if it's a woman fighting. The guys wait and they come in one by one. It happens with men too. That
happens like in a lot of movies.
But yeah, it was like it was pretty much like that. But it was like it got really noticeable. The more kind of you got out of the situation of thinking about it, the more noticeable it became. Anyway, that's our review.
But it was just way too smooth. Like it was just like he was like.
Anyway, that is our review of Adverse. Don't pay $5.99 for it unless you kind of want to get. I mean, I wish I was drinking. I wish I was drinking for it. I really wish I was drinking. I probably would have had a lot more fun with it.
Honey, we didn't talk about our favorite person though in the whole movie. The stupid forced like.
Oh, the love
neighbor,
interest.
the girl interest neighbor of Ethan's.
Oh, yeah.
She was when I broke. She's what made me break, where I was like, I couldn't
She was
stop.
introduced within the first 15 minutes. 10 minutes even.
The actress's name is Kate Katzman.
Actress.
And her character's name is Chloe. And she is the worst. She is so bad. And that was when I broke down.
How bad is she?
You could just see, like, you're just like, why was she hired? Oh, just because she looks like a freaking malformed Barbie doll.
She does actually. A malformed Barbie doll is
like
probably
Barbie
the best way to put her.
Like, if you actually were to, like, make them real, they would be scary. It's kind of like Bratz dolls. If you were to make that look real, you'd be terrified because you're like, that's not human.
It's very true.
She's just terrible.
Awful actress. Just awful.
Oh my gosh! I wish we had a line read. We should have had something queued up, but
so that's adverse. Don't waste your time with it. Now we are going to move on swiftly, as it may be, to the part of the show where Britt gets to do her bits. And well, Britt, do your bit.
Hello. This is the Potpourri part of the program where I get to talk about whatever the hell I want. And the first thing I want to talk about is our ever-changing camera view. We have a new one. I like this one. It's kind of like a Lord of the Rings like illusion perspective thing.
It's not that different than usual.
So whenever you do a good job, I'm just gonna pat you on the head like that.
Oh, thank you.
Boy.
Wow, way to be patronizing.
Patronizing. Ha.
You know,
Speaking
sometimes I'm just glad you're pretty, to be honest.
Some actresses get hired because of their looks. Some women get married for their looks, apparently.
That's something we can really all agree on. So what have you got for us tonight?
All right.
Yes, please.
We already talked about our freebie report. That was already taken care of in the beginning. So our first story is Polish pastor pushes out police during Passover.
Polish pastor pushes out police during Passover.
Yeah, it's my new tongue twister that I invented.
That wasn't a tongue twister, that was just serious alliteration.
No, that was just Dr. Seuss's new book.
Not sure if you know what Dr. Seuss was known for, but it certainly wasn't that.
Hey, he's a German man.
Certainly not Polish pastor.
German descent, yeah, you're
Looks
right.
like you have a video set up for this one, actually.
Yeah.
Do you want to give us a little context?
Let's scroll up to the top. We'll read the title.
Gestapo.
No, wait. Okay, whatever.
No, go ahead.
Canadian cop. I mean, the title just said it. Polish pastor pushes out police during Passover. That's what happened.
Oh,
so, Canadian cops are trying to enter a church, and the Passover, as a good shepherd as he is, pushes out those wolves, as he likes to put it. So go ahead and play some of the clip for us to get an idea.
I'm just seeing
You want to go back to the beginning,
Here
please.
we are. Okay, 1 second. Let me just get the music bed down. And let's get back to the... Okay.
The beginning of the clip, honey.
I don't know what that man was saying, but it was scaring me.
He's Polish. He's got.
Oh.
Please get out.
Oh.
Get out of this property. Immediately get out.
Oh, he's got a body cam.
Get out of this property
He's just
immediately.
filming on his phone.
Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. 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 Out of this property immediately. Out.
This guy needs a metal remix. Out! 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 Thank you for doing the exact same thing I was doing.
I was just.
But I'm kidding.
Fuck. I was
kidding.
just joining the fun. So we see like 6 armed police officers.
They're Canadians. They're probably armed with maple
they're
guns.
armed. They have like guns and handcuffs, and they're ready to go. And I think the woman that's trying to kind of speak to him, I think on her jacket it says like public health.
Oh yeah.
Supervisor or something like that.
Because those assholes always go along with the police.
So this happened, like I said, on Easter Sunday. So keep playing it a little bit longer.
Right.
See.
Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this property immediately.
He doesn't sound very Polish. I mean, not to be in any way odd about it, but he just doesn't sound very Polish.
Out! Out of this property, you Nazis! Out!
Oh,
Out!
shit, dude.
Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed. Out! Do you understand English? Get out of this property.
I mean, he clearly does.
Go. So go.
Are they French-Canadian? Maybe they don't understand
And don't
English.
come back without a warrant. Out, Nazi. Out.
Oh.
You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out.
Oh, I love him.
Don't come back without a warrant.
I
Do not come back without a warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do
so
not come.
he's Polish. You said.
Yeah. He was born. So his name is Artur Polowsky.
Polowsky. Ooh.
And
very Polish.
And he's based in Calgary. So this is in Calgary, in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
He was born in Poland. So he kind of recounts the events as being, stirring up childhood memories.
What age is he?
I don't know what age he is, but he was born in Poland. He lived behind the Iron Curtain. He lived under communist dictatorship.
Oh, wow.
So in an interview that he had, I read a few things. He goes on in the video to kind of give some of his insight. I mean, it's 3-minute clips, so I would encourage you to watch it on your own time.
All right, I'll make a link of that as well.
I mean, I can't say. There's only one thing. If you were to skip to, I'm pretty sure at 2 minutes and 45 seconds, he does say the homo F word though.
Ooh, the old homo F word. 2 minutes 45.
Yeah, 2:45.
All right, let's give him a little bit of leeway there, and quickly,
And he just starts to kind of talk about what this means, why they would come here, like.
Well, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, he knows.
State of
he
things.
actually probably knows better than most what Nazism actually is. Considering he's from Poland.
All right, well,
Let's
we'll
see.
play the clip for a little bit.
Unbelievable. We're living in a takeover.
Wait,
Total takeover of the.
is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
He doesn't look that old. He looks.
Yeah, he's like probably like in his
probably his
50s or 60s.
50s or 60s early. Yeah, he wouldn't have. Well, he would have grown up behind the Iron Curtain for sure, but he certainly wasn't there for the other fellows who were goose stepping across Europe there for a while. Let's get back here.
Sick people.
Ooh, all right.
You went back further than okay.
Unbelievable. We're living in a takeover, a total takeover of the government with their thugs, goons,
Whoa.
the brown shirts, the.
My friend, Nazi is okay, but the word homo F word is never all right unless the mics are off. In which case, I use it like an altar boy
Like
uses
a
his
raging
lips.
homophobic on.
I said an altar boy using his lips. I think that was sufficient. Which is anyway. Wow.
So that being said,
Okay, definitely check that video
I
out.
wouldn't completely discount him based on that because that's the thing, is you're not going. I think people have lost insight. You're not going to 100% agree with somebody, but it doesn't mean you just like, oh well, I automatically dismissed him. He did. I heard it correctly, right? He does say that. He starts.
I think he does, but then again, if he's Polish, there's not really much political correctness with those people. They don't care. They really don't care about
anyway,
that kind of thing.
I don't want to focus on that. I actually just wanted a second pair of ears to listen to that to make sure I hadn't misunderstood him. But anyway, besides that, kind of describe what he's kind of going through and what his mindset was. The implementations, this is a quote of his later on during an interview regarding the event. The implementations of what we are seeing now started about 20 years ago. Now, keep in mind, he is in Canada.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean,
you can go off on that if you want to a little bit.
It's little commie town up there. I mean, Canada, you're screwed, right? You've dug yourself so far into a hole, the only way you can get yourselves out is by digging. And you're always going to have people who are going to dig you further, deeper into this mess. No matter how hard you dig your tunnel upwards, There's going to be people who are going to be, and you're going to be falling to pit. Canada, you're done, man. I don't.
Yeah, and
I see way too much out of Canada now, and he's like, oh yeah, we're just a friendly nation to the north, eh? We're not really that scary. No, there's plenty going on. I see it. If you're a Canadian, you should be afraid. You should probably be afraid. And I don't really want America to become anything like Canada because, well, we're the last bastion of freedom in the world, aren't we? Where do you go when the last bastion is gone? When your pullback point is gone, where do you go? You certainly don't go to Canada. Ugh, you people.
I know people who have.
Ugh.
Anyway.
It's jumping into the fire. Anyway.
He goes on to kind of heed warning. They will never give up their new gained powers. They'll never give it back to you freely. Demand those rights back. Fight for your rights. The
government has no bearing on taking your rights. By the way, your rights are whether you believe it or not, they're God-given. Your rights are simply because you are alive. They're not given to you by a government. I wish people would stop saying that, like, well, the government is the arbiter of the rights. The government is the arbiter of what's moral. The government is basically God. Is it? Go stuff your head in an oven if that's actually what you believe. Go wrap your lips around the barrel of a 45 if that's what you believe. Just don't have it loaded while you do it. You'll look pretty silly with your brains on the wall. Brittany?
Wow. Okay, so clearly, I want to read one more quote, and it's from a commenter from one of the articles I read. It said, quote, I don't usually go to church, but now I'm inspired to return this Sunday. Thanks, Canadian police, for helping me see the light.
Wow. Hey, look at that. The police are turning people towards God.
And that was like on a negative kind of spin on the article, actually. Because it kind of mentions, because first of all, the reason I say that is because my hint is in the very beginning, they front load the article before showing that he's a controversial street preacher.
Oh, he's a controversial...
I just want to make mention of this, and it's only been brought to my attention recently after listening to a Megyn Kelly podcast, and I can't remember who the guest was, but they talk about, the guest brings up a really good point. Pay attention to what people are being referred to as controversial.
Absolutely. I mean,
pay attention to that. Like, it's really interesting. You'll start to see that it's a slant. It's only a particular type of people that have a particular set of beliefs. It might be on the particular side of the political spectrum that are being called controversial.
This is very true. Look, it's a part of the game. It's a part of the game. The rules for radicals has very much been implemented. You're the one who actually taught me about rules for radicals, Saul Alinsky. It is so very apparent that you accuse thy enemy of doing the very things that you do. Never let a bad situation go to waste. A tragic situation, a tragedy, go to waste. That's what they do. It's very much the same with the language. They control the language, you control the narrative.
And this is the thing I think is really interesting. There's like some sort of like things don't quite add up. A little bit of hypocrisy here. Because he is receiving a lot of criticism from left-wing activists. Of course. So wait a second. Let me get this straight. You want to defund the police, but when it comes to police coming into a church service on one of the holiest days, now you're saying that the police are in the right for doing that? But
that's the thing. It's a tiered system that is very easily movable. The police will be here one day, and then because, religion is worse. Religion is worse, so they'll slide under. So we need the police to do it because we believe in law. And do you? No. You believe in moving the goalposts so much it doesn't even look like a goal anymore. That's what it is. So, I mean, just to answer your question, that's the way the game is played. It's not that, the police are suddenly now good. No, the police are still bad. But they are useful for governmental power. Even though the government say, we will reform and defund the police. Will you? No, you won't. Because you need the police to do the action. So I think he's actually right, and he's saying Gestapo.
Yeah.
He's called them Gestapo. He's called them Nazis. That's because, unfortunately, as much as I back the blue, as much as I do back the blue, I am also
They're
not...
being used.
Yes, they have to follow orders as well.
Something that's kind of
crazy.
That's definitely infringing on people's rights.
Absolutely. So they're a tool for the government. So he's right, Gestapo. I mean...
No, it echoes and it reminds him of being under a communist dictatorship, and we kind of need to listen to those people that have actually lived under it and have a good understanding of it. Because people are so naively wanting to be democratic socialists and not knowing that the goal of socialism is communism.
Yes.
And that
nobody seems to understand that.
Yes, he was in the Soviet. He lived under the Soviet reign.
Soviet Union.
Soviet Union.
I thought you were saying Sylvia's reign. I was like, what?
I did say reign. Soviet.
Sylvia's peeing again. Sylvia. Oh, Sylvia.
Oh, you free bleeding dunce.
Sylvia, please go put your head in an oven. Sorry, excuse me.
Hey, that's a good one.
No, that's Lenin, right? Not John Lennon. Lenin, the founder of the Soviet Union.
The Sylvia's Union.
Soviet Union.
Sylvia's Union. All right.
That's his quote. The goal of communism is
the goal of socialism is communism. In order to act as we need useful idiots who will very quickly be disposed of after communism because they are weak, they follow orders, they are not to be trusted. That's how it works. That's why there were gulags. That's why it's like, yay, we've got so... Hey, why are you taking me away? Well, you're not to be trusted. You turned on the other guys so fast. We can't trust you not to do it.
And yeah, you can have...
That's how it works, people.
I don't understand why, but you can believe in communism and think that Karl Marx had a good idea or a good lens on society.
Yeah, read it twice is what I say.
You can live in the States, but I'm just that's fine. And maybe you should consider going and living somewhere else if you think that's the way. I don't know.
I hear Venezuela is terrible this time of year.
What?
I hear Venezuela is terrible at this time of year.
That's the freedom we have. You have the freedom to believe in that, but then again, why are you living here if you think that communism is so great? Because that's the thing that scares me is socialism kind of is blurry right now because people are like, well, socialism might not be so bad because capitalism now has been labeled as such an evil thing. So
evil that it lifts millions upon millions out of poverty every year.
And it's just and so when we meet somebody like we did on our trip to Tombstone, we mentioned before, that claims to be communism, and it's communist, and it's have you lived in a communist country?
No, you haven't. You've lived in a country that's protected you to defend it.
The only experience you have with communism is reading about it.
This is very true.
It's the most. It really truly is. If you believe in evil, it has been the death and destruction of the most people on this planet because due to communism, it has been.
Shouldn't be applauding that.
But no, you're applauding what I'm saying because it is the truth. It has led to the result of the death of many, many millions and millions of people because of a stupid ideology.
Come on, man.
I don't think he believes you, Brittany. You're not making a good point to him. Maybe more executive orders is the order of the day. Britt, we do have to wrap the Brit Spits, I'm afraid. Thank you so much for that. That was good. I enjoyed that.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about it, actually.
Well, I thought I heard a clip the other morning, but I might have been wrong. We are going to move on very quickly now to pressing those presses. I had another sheet here somewhere. I don't know what you did with it.
I did not do nothing with it. I didn't move nothing.
All right. Well, first big story. It's been a weird week for aviation. I did notice one of your stories there was actually going to be about a pilot who died. And I think you actually have the video for this.
It was another stupid gender reveal party, senseless death.
Now, here's the thing. I did know about this one because I'm very up to date with pretty much everything plane. We're just going to...
Everything plane?
everything aircraft related, because a big part of our story tonight is going to be dealing with that. And let's see, warning, graphic video. How do you not love a bit of a graphic video? If I can get my mouse over there, for Christ's sake. Come on! All right. I don't think I saw the video. I heard about this, but I don't think I saw the video.
Yeah.
Oh, it's TMZ. Ew! Well, there's the plane.
So this was in a lagoon in Cancun, Mexico. Spectators are watching a plane as they do a gender reveal stunt.
All right. Wow, he's banking fast. No, he's not even banking. He's kind of just... Now he's banking. Oh. Ah, stall. Oh, mambo. He went straight in. He really just went straight in, didn't he?
Yeah, so there were 4 people on the aircraft. 2 of them did die. 1 pretty much immediately after the accident. 1 in hospital. 2 survivors.
Was it a diverse flight crew? How diverse was that flight crew?
I think they were all Mexican.
All Mexican, so not very diverse.
I don't know, I'm sorry.
So the big thing about that is, I mean, obviously that plane, that's stalling where you don't want to stall. That's basically, you're stalling, you haven't got any time to recover. You're just going to, you saw the way, he went in like a swan dive. It was always beautiful.
Yeah.
It was almost like a 10 out of 10. I'd say about an 8.5 to a 9, personally, if I had the big, cards.
Can I just remind people though really quickly?
All right.
This is a gender reveal stunt, not a party, a stunt.
Yeah.
Now, can I just remind you all that this trend all started by cutting into a cake and getting a particular color, whether it was blue or pink frosting in the middle of your cake.
Oh, yeah.
That's how this trend started, and now we're having, I mean, stunt playing stuff happen all the time. It's just a little sad that, yes, it's related to a gender reveal party. And I do have to say, the parents were watching. They weren't on the aircraft.
Oh,
so
thank God. Like, gender reveal party, and it's like, miscarriage.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Speaking of the diversity of airplanes and all that,
Can you turn my earphones a little bit down? Music's a little...
I had you up a little bit. United Airlines are committing to have diversity in the cockpit because when you fly United...
An orgy in the cockpit?
No, diversity in the cockpit. Because when you fly United, you have to have a diverse flight crew, like the diverse drunken crowd of people fighting each other in the back of the plane, shouting at each other, making, your passengers need to be represented in the cockpit. If you've seen a regular flyer these days, a frequent flyer, where's my, get off the plane, I want to shake his hand. That you want that represented in the cockpit, do you? So they have commit to
not quite falling, but yeah, go on.
They have commit to and this is the news story. They have commit to diversity in the cockpit. This is from CBS This Morning, and this is let's just take a listen to this news here.
In our series Unifying America, we are recognizing people who are trying to right injustices and bring communities together. We like the thought of that.
You like the thought of that? Then why do you consistently divide in your broadcast? Even that was divisive. That was a divisive intro. I don't care. If you live in the real world, this cheery bullshit doesn't work on you. And it certainly doesn't work on me.
The airline industry, less than 6% of all pilots and flight engineers in this country are women, and only about 10% of that number are Black Americans, Asian, Hispanic, or Latino. So
did you ever think maybe the 6% that are women and the 10% that are Black, Asian, Hispanic, or Latino are maybe the excellers of, they're the ones who actually excel at the jobs, deserve the jobs, are not diversity hires.
It can go even deeper than that. Like how many women, Black, Asian, Hispanic, or Latinos are actually pursuing becoming a pilot?
Exactly. Let's put it this way: the Black population accounts for 13% of the population. Hispanics count for probably a little bit more. Asians probably count for maybe a little bit more, but they'll be roughly the same. They're probably the largest chunk of the minorities, like in terms of percentage of population. 10% is pretty good for, say, we'll put conservatively there, maybe around 25%. And for all airlines in the country,
So
and this isn't a per capita
everything
thing.
against white males, right?
Once again, yes,
Basically.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the Chuck Yeagers of the world, because Chuck Yeager was so bad. Let's move on with this.
First on CBS This Morning, we like when we can say that. I'm going to say it again. First on CBS This Morning, United Airlines is the only major U.S. airline to own a flight school. It's announcing its new plan to train 5,000 pilots by 2030, and at least half of them will be women or people of color.
How can you make that guarantee?
Because they can, and they will rush it, because woke is the new Coke, I guess. Woke is the new Coke. It's exciting. It's a fad. It needs to be jumped on now.
You said that
So
with
what
a D
you're
at the end, right?
Coke. What?
No.
Fad. Very good.
Sorry, your accent. I couldn't quite.
yes.
I just want to make sure.
But what they're saying is that, yes, they're going to diversify the cockpits of the airplanes.
NASA already did
So-
it in the 80s.
Yeah, but now, here's the thing. Training is one thing. But putting quotas and trying to meet a quota means you're trying to meet a mark. And you're trying to meet a certain percentage by a certain mark at a certain time. I think quality is going to suffer. By the way, what happens if the quota is like, we're not filling our quotas? Lower the bar. So affirmative action on airplanes. Are you mad? Are you mad? Oh, by the way, the FAA, I read today that the FAA issues pilot's license. We know how good the government is when it comes to affirmative action, lowering the bar. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Polynesian, Nepalese. You saw an airplane yesterday and you have a magical ability to fly it because you know how to deal with a Sherpa. Because you've ascended Mount Everest so often. You're just a natural at ascending and descending. I don't care. You're flying an airplane. You better be good at flying an airplane. And that takes training. That takes experience. That takes ability. Training. Well, training. They just need training, do they?
So is this
Have you been trained to be in a car crash? Do you know exactly what you're going to do if you're in a car crash? Now imagine that with an airplane. United we fly, except when, our fuselage falls divided from the sky. In
From our tail.
many, many pieces. And, people are just...
Okay, so we need to make some things clear. So
Wait, honey, wait. There's a United
We're
flight
calling
over
each other.
I think that was a United... Oh, the humanity and the huge manatees that were on that pier. Are you crazy? Really? You want to lower the bar and have quotas. Let's have quotas for doctors. Let's have oncology doctors be... Let's lower the bar of an oncology doctor. Shall we say that? Let's do that. Cancer rates in this country would not be going down like they currently kind of are due to the high skills of doctors. Could you imagine anything? Airplanes. Really? You want quotas in air travel.
Okay.
That pisses me off so much.
Hold on.
All right.
Okay, hold on. So, we just need to know, there's a difference between lowering the standards and increasing opportunities.
Yes.
So, I think you're a little...
No, the opportunity is there for anybody who wants to. You are free to pursue the opportunity.
What we're trying to establish...
But you got to be the best if you're going to fly, is what I'm saying.
What I want to establish here, though, is that this admitting to the fact that they have been discriminating against women, blacks, Latinos.
No, it isn't. It's about representation, Brittany, because what would a poor little black girl think if she got on an airplane, looked into the cab of the pilot's area, the cockpit. It's a little room at the front of the plane where the pilots sit. It's not important right now. But what if she looks in there?
I don't know why you plotted that.
Because it's an airplane reference, you wouldn't got.
I've seen Airplane.
But you didn't get the reference. Anyway, what if she looks into that cockpit and she doesn't see somebody who looks just like her? What does that mean, Britt? That means bad parenting, in my opinion, because if a little kid looks up... Mama, why don't they look like me? No kid is asking that, by the way. Any kid who sees into a cockpit of a plane isn't thinking about the pilots themselves. They're thinking about, how cool is that? I can see the instruments. There's the pilot. Oh, he's cool looking. I love the uniform, the hat, you know, the aviator sunglasses. If you're flying with men, the mustache.
The smell of whiskey on his breath.
The smell of the waitresses.
Oh man, I thought that would have got you better. I thought that was good and quick.
The smell of the waitresses on your breath.
Waitress.
Yeah, well, the stewards.
Waitress.
Those damn sexy stows. But no, that's not what the kid's thinking. They're not thinking, why don't they look like me? They're not doing that. They're thinking, that's cool. Can I do that?
They are kind of being told to think that way, though.
No, but the thing is, they're being told to think. They're being told to think that way, but that's not really the way it is.
You should see color now. You should see color.
No, bullshit. Not when it comes to jobs like this.
You should see color.
Okay, right.
And if you're white, you should be able to sit there in your own shame and realize that because of the color of your skin, you are racist. And there's nothing you can do about it because you just are. Because you were born white. Sorry.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It
but
really
no,
is.
okay. We kind of got off a little bit.
By the way, no, it doesn't, because this is it.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, we need to address this situation. Has there been discrimination?
No.
In opportunities for people to become pilots?
Maybe back in the 60s and 70s, you know, back when long-range flight was kind of a relatively new thing, maybe only a couple of decades old. And who were the best men for those? Oh, yeah, the guys who were flying fighter jets.
This could just be a thing with them trying to...
Do you think?
This is just a PR thing.
Oh, right.
This is just a PR thing.
If this is a PR stunt that causes airplanes to fall out of the sky, that is going to be one spectacular failure of a PR stunt.
Okay, listen to me. There's two things you have to consider. First of all, the real news story should be, hey, did you realize that there's discrimination that's been occurring even into 2021?
No, there isn't.
Of not allowing minorities and women the opportunity to become pilots. So you
have to stay stewards.
So that should be the story.
Yeah.
That should be the story. If that's actually what's been going on, then the other story is we're increasing. Then the other story, which is your kind of slant on everything, by increasing.
What did you call my eyes?
Your slant on everything.
Oh boy.
I didn't call your eyes anything. You have sad eyes, though.
I thought you said I had slant.
No, I didn't say anything about your eyes. I said your slant, your take on things. Your take on
free bleeding dunce.
That literally did not work.
It's just an insult I throw at you now.
You just really want.
Sorry. But no, you're right. You are 100% right.
But this is what your concern is. This is what your concern is. This is what you're taking away from it, which is, if as a result of increasing diversity, are they lowering the standards? And that's where your concern is. Which I don't think either are true. I don't think there's been a discrimination. And I don't think they're lowering standards. Although they are making a guarantee. You can't just promise that this many people that X, Y, and Z are going to happen.
And that's why my fear would be that they would lower the standard in order to meet the quotas.
And I think that's valid. So can you go back? Because does she say that? Like, by 2030, there will be.
Oh, by the way, apparently we have planes, and we will have planes in the next year or so that can fly at 20,000 miles an hour, but I'll get more on that for another show. But let's continue with this quickly.
Okay.
Errol Barnett has the story.
The story.
2 decades ago, near runways like these, a Texas girl was discovering her love of aviation.
My grandmother would take my sisters and I to the airport to watch the airplanes take off and land.
Yeah, my grandparents used to do the same with me. I wanted to be a pilot. Then I didn't. Then I realized I don't deal with heights very well. Also, water. So, you know. I would have loved to have been a pilot. I know myself. I wouldn't have made the right stuff. And I'm Irish. I'm a minority. Where's my pilot's license, you bastards?
A 6-year-old, Tashiana Smith, was hooked.
We could actually smell
Good for her.
that jet fuel for a couple of days.
When the plane done burning up in the garden, we could smell the jet fuel and the children's tears that was melted onto the fuselage.
And I still love that smell today.
So you've been addicted to
Holy shit. Wait. Let's get a little more context on that one, please. You've been addicted to jet fuel? You want to become a pilot?
I would be like, please don't include that. That's weird. It's kind of weird.
Tashiana Smith was hooked.
We could actually smell that jet fuel for a couple of days, and I still love that smell today.
So you've been addicted to jet fuel since you were a kid?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, we're letting psycho drug addicts and with weird.
Yeah. Also, just a terrible joke.
Is this just a commercial for my a new episode of My Strange Addiction?
I'm just going to say, without any levity here, good for her. She liked airplanes growing up. She made inroads to get into the job. Work for
because she liked the way it smelled.
Because she liked the way it smelled. But no, it's obviously not. She obviously has a love for aviation. It's a miracle. Go back to the time of Jesus and tell people by 1902 man will be flying in the air.
Think about it. There's not many.
They would be like, okay, you're a god.
Sorry,
you're gods.
I'm still caught on choosing your profession because you like the way it smells. I became a.
What do you think hookers get into that line of work? They love the way it smells.
It's like, I became a gynecologist because I love the smell. I became a proctologist
because I love the way it smells. Especially when they've just gone cross country on a truck.
I became a teacher because I love the way them children smell.
Oh boy. Oh, Uncle Brittany. Aunt Brittany, you can't say that kind of thing.
I love the smell of coffee, so I became a barista. See, that's kind of
that would actually make fair sense.
24-year-old Smith is on a lifelong quest to become a commercial airline pilot.
24 years isn't lifelong. 24 years is quite literally, at her age, that actually, realistically, could be a quarter of her life expectancy. Less than a quarter of her life expectancy. She could live to be 100.
I want to hear the rest of her story. Did you kind of summarize it?
An expensive ambition. Flight training costs an average of $100,000. So over the years...
$100,000. That's not bad compared to, your gender studies where you go out and just become a complete moron. At least this girl is learning viable skills.
Smith earned several scholarships through non-profit organizations.
Good for her. Earned. Merit. Great.
Handed over the controls.
Once I started turning left and right, I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
She's following in the flight.
I don't know why she's laughing about that. That's great. This is actually a wonderful story.
Not laughing.
Path of people like Marianne Schaefer, a 32-year veteran in the industry who is United Airlines chief pilot.
I believe it's related to just the thrill of taking off and controlling the airplane and landing.
She explained what it is to be a pilot. It's just the thrill of, taking off and controlling the airplane and then landing. You just described a routine flight. That doesn't sound thrilling. I don't go to my job and have a routine day and think, this is thrilling. No, I think after a while it just becomes a job. It really does. It just becomes a job after a while, right? It's gotta. It's just routine. It's like, okay, gotta take off. Autopilot. Okay, let's monitor.
The one job that you actually go into autopilot, yeah.
Pilots are generally very boring people.
Unless you get them at the bar. And then...
Well, even then they can be a little bit boring. Sometimes a little bit dry. Now the air traffic controllers are fun.
It really is just a feeling of empowerment.
But both...
I'm going to leave that one go because I hate her.
Smith and Schaefer say they'd like to see more female representation in
young
the
black.
flight deck.
Oh yeah, Brittany, our audience they can't see, but they're not stupid.
And 13% of its pilots are people of color.
They simply don't have the access or the opportunity.
Okay, that's what I hear.
Yes, they do.
That's what I want to hear, though.
They simply don't have the access or the... Then she wouldn't be flying, would she?
Is she, though?
She's going for it. If she didn't have the access, she would be not flying.
So this isn't... Okay.
So,
this isn't
fuck
about...
You.
This isn't...
Fuck you.
Okay, shut up. Shut up. This isn't about people of color or women. No. This is just about being... now this is just about making it more affordable or allowing up, because it's actually a class thing. Like, if you're poor, you won't be able to get these opportunities.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can always get the opportunity if you work for it. You know what? And so what? Sometimes your dreams don't come true. Sometimes your dreams do not come true.
Yes, I can attest to that.
I can attest to that too. Look at us. We're just so happily married, aren't we?
That is not what I was talking about.
I know it wasn't.
I'm on a different... like most people, you have one career path in mind and then you end up doing something else.
I'm working towards a career path I would love to have. We are actually going to wrap up the part of that show.
Didn't really get to the bottom of that, but all
right.
right.
I think I got out pretty much all the vitriol and anger I wanted about it, because it does piss me off, because there's no way I'm getting...
It's just
not
a PR
by any
thing.
choice.
It's just a...
No, let's keep an eye on it. And if we start to see United planes fall out of the sky, or the FAA... the FAA starting to bring the bar down for what it means to be a pilot, operating an incredibly complex machine that literally gives us the miracle of flight, that we take for granted, by the way, completely take for granted. But if we start seeing things like that, let's maybe not live under the the actual airport.
See, I want to look into the other half of things. I want to be like, okay, like I was trying to say, I want to see cases of actual discrimination that have held a person back because of their color of their skin or because of their gender.
I want to see that too.
I want to see if that's the case. It sounds more like it's because of just how expensive it is. But it also rings true of like things like, well, there's not a lot of women chefs, so we want to promote that. Or we didn't do the story, but you talked about diversity in hiking. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went hiking this last weekend. I didn't see one black person. We
went hiking 2 weekends ago, and we saw nothing but Hispanics. So am
I worried at that?
We saw everybody. We saw everybody was accounted for. We saw Asians. We saw black people. We saw Hispanic people.
Yeah.
We saw them all.
Yeah.
We saw Indians. We saw Indian people. We saw an Indian family out for a walk.
Yes, okay. But there's sometimes you can go on a hike.
The dots, not the natives.
You can go on a hike that and not see anybody of color, which happened to me this last weekend. But I'm not gonna say, oh, they're not here because they're not here because they feel discriminated towards. Like, it's the same thing with like certain professions that just happen to have. I mean, put in the comments or whatever. Call me out on some of this shit. But
call either of us out in this if you want to. I mean,
I would like to know. I would like to know why there's a cry for diversity in certain situations when there's no case of discrimination.
There's nothing to fight against. Or something. So you gotta just. I mean, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting?
It's just.
What are our mothers fighting for? What the fuck are they fighting for?
It's just a recruitment thing. Like, they want more. They want that. Like, it's not uncommon for...
It looks good until a fuselage falls out of the sky. And here's another thing.
I'm not worried about standards being lowered.
I am worried about that, and here's why. Here's why. Because a plane will crash due to a diversity hire. There was somebody who wasn't quite up to snuff, but they got him in.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I think it'll happen. A plane will fall out of the sky, and they'll never blame the pilot. It was like, well, which of the oppressed group was the pilot? It was a black woman. Okay. Wasn't pilot error, but the investigation. No. The NTSB will cover this up. They'll keep it quiet. We're going to say it was a fault with the aircraft that caused it to break up in midair, and not the air pocket was hit, and suddenly she didn't know how to autocorrect or just even stabilize the plane, and the thing fell out of the sky. And the same be for a white pilot. I just used a black woman. We'll say a straight white male as well. Same thing, but no. You wouldn't hear that it was. You wouldn't hear it was a fault with the plane. You would hear pilot error. He should have been ready for that. He should have been able to. Sully. Yeah, whatever.
No, anyway. I don't know. I think you're thinking into it too much.
Yeah, but that's what we all think, right? This is. We're just going to finish up on Twitterology here. Again, I'm going to put all these links on the Twitter page. This is for a little bit of Twitterology.
Could you not put it in the comments of the YouTube too?
We can do that too. But this is one of my favorite videos ever. This guy, I want to party with him. Brittany, tell me if you can tell me what's going on in this quick video.
Okay.
This is.
I see a man stepping into a pool with a beer and a silly outfit on.
Hang on.
And a funny hat.
Silly outfit on. Wait till you see his silly everything else.
Is he gonna get naked?
Silly is certainly a word. Why isn't this playing?
Flappy?
Why aren't you playing? Come on, my friend, you should be playing. Oh, wait, what? The hell? Oh, you son of a... Okay, we'll okay, you know what?
Keep on trying.
Aha.
Try
There
again.
we are.
Try again, my boy.
Come on, load, you silly bastard.
Bastard.
Load, you silly bastard. Oh! What was that, English dice? Oh! Do you know that bitch down by the dock? Oh my God.
What's happening?
I don't know. This suddenly doesn't really want to work. That is weird. Okay, I do have another quick lizard video for you. Look at this fella.
Lizard.
This is a Komodo dragon playing around in some
climbing
kind of
the shelves, knocking over.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like in a bodega or something.
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
I think that's a bodega, yeah. Oh, they gave him some sexy music too.
Ooh.
Look at him go. He kind of looks like a big ugly dog. Look at the way he climbs. I kind of like him actually. I want to bring him home and call him Chompy.
You would not want to get close to that.
Oh yeah, well I mean he's obviously gotten close to somebody. I mean he got into the store.
That's really, wild.
That's wild.
Oh, now it's playing. Now
here
it's working.
No.
Holy shit!
Oh shit! Hang on. Wait. No. Wait.
Please don't knock those together.
He's knocking two big balls together.
Holy shit! Jeez. Bobby, stop! Bobby, stop! With you? Woo! Do not move! Do not move! What is wrong with her? Are you dumb? How are you laughing at
Are you dumb? He looks like he is mentally retarded.
Well, I mean, remember earlier you said silly.
Holy shit!
He truly is.
Holy shit, are you dumb? And they just said that to a mentally handicapped man.
Ooh! God bless him. I want to party with that guy.
He looks like a party animal.
He looks like a party animal. Well, he's got a short little life, probably. Don't they usually kind of die younger? He's got to live it up. So he goes out there. For anybody else to see the video.
I love that someone said that to a mentally retarded person. They're just like, are you dumb or something?
Are you dumb or something? But I mean, he went out there with 2 beer bottles. Literally. He goes out into the pool with 2 beer bottles and he's like, don't knock those together. He's like one of those asshole cats.
It's quite like he's already done it 3 times that night.
But then he just goes, bah! Blows it up. And then his hand is probably bleeding. There's probably shards in his tongue. And he's just like, goo!
They didn't say goo.
I don't know what he said, but he said something and it was hilarious. And really, and you called him silly earlier, but I think that's got to be one of my...
silly outfit on.
His silly outfit on, silly face, head, and probably even a little bit of a silly brain, but God bless him.
Silly chromosomes. There's too many of you
Oh,
here.
what a shame that is. And that, with that horrid, and I'm going to feel bad about this, by the way. I'm going to feel really bad about this, but with that horrid lack of sensitivity, that's the end of our show. Thank you very much for listening to the West of Waterford podcast. Brittany, thank you for being with me again. Thank you to all our new subscribers, all our new listeners.
Do you mean just tonight or just in general?
Just in general. Very good. Yeah, let's... once again, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And we will see you very, very soon. Again, Men and Monster podcast should be coming back around this weekend. I hopefully will get a twin episode at This Week in News where I can blather on about some politics without the confines of the old ball and chain that's sitting beside me.
I've been more open to whatever.
Not backstage, I haven't. By backstage, I mean our living room. Not even the living room. Probably we have shouting matches in the hallway.
My backstage?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.